foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. I'm your guest host, Orrett Connor, starting a little bit late today. Our apologies, but you won't regret waiting for us as well. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Talk Today is also brought to you by Mike's Builders. Call 923-0706. Mike Builders. They make it happen. Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990. 949-8037 or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I am your guest host, Orrett Connor. And again, our apologies for the late start, but we will be talking about the National Technical Honors Society, known by the acronym NTHS, Cayman Islands chapter, and the launch as well. So the University College of the Cayman Islands, UCCI, is proud to announce the official launch of their Cayman Islands chapter of the National Technical Honors Society. Okay, got to enlarge that again. It is a major step towards recognition or recognizing and empowering students in career and technical education. So here in the studio with me to discuss this is Mr. Paul Puckerin, who is the Dean of the Professional and Technical Education and Training Division. Also with us, Mr. Ricardo Benjamin, who's the Program Director, TVET, and Coordinator of the NTHS ceremony. And first he was described as Doctor, and then they changed it to Mr.
Not me, this one.
Yes. So they demoted you between the time that it took me to get here. So Mr. Rohan Marshall, who is the Adjunct for the project management course and the guest speaker at the ceremony as well. So, gentlemen, with all of that introduction, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Thank you, and good afternoon to you too.
Okay, and
good afternoon.
For those listening and viewing audience who may not know you, and with my brief introduction, I'm going to ask you to basically, let's go around the table here and introduce yourselves. Tell us exactly, what your role is at as well.
Okay. Thank you again, OC, for having us. I'm Paul Puckerin, the Dean of the Professional and Technical Education and Training Division at the UCCI. And that division covers all things technical, construction, the School of Hospitality, and anything to do with professional training or customized training that persons may want within the community.
Okay.
Rohan Marshall.
Yes.
I am a PhD candidate and I am the adjunct professor at UCCI for project management.
And one's my parents' next door neighbor in Tropical Gardens.
The mangoes are ready.
Yes,
the mangoes are ready. Yes, good afternoon, obviously. Good afternoon to the listeners as well. My name is Ricardo Benjamin, Program Director for TVET, with particular responsibility all of the technical education programs, including electrical, HVAC, plumbing, construction, just to name a few. And also sitting in as the technical coordinator for planning the Honor Society, which is our inaugural ceremony for this year.
Okay, so before we go to the to talk about the event itself, we continue to hear people in Cayman talk about the fact that we need technical schools. We don't have technical schools, and sometimes in the old days, between a football field and a technical school was the platform that most of our politicians ran on. This is what they promised their districts. What do you say to those people who make this call that we need technical schools in terms of what we have here that they may not know about?
Well, will always be a need for technical schools, and this is part of what we are planning as an initiative for technical schools, because from where I stand, basically, there's never been enough technical honor society that honors person in technical education. Mm-hmm. And that is why we are marketing and branding it, because it's very important to us and very dear to us that our technical persons feel as if there is a place for them of not only to be in a space, but there's a prestigious organization that they can be a part of. So for all the persons listening in, basically, technical education is here to stay. And we are going to do as much as we can in the rebranding and uplifting of technical education within the Cayman Islands.
As a matter of fact, in some jurisdictions, it's reviving as well. I was watching a program a few days ago in the U.S., and they pointed out that I think about 30% of high school students do not actually go to college. But now the focus is on technical education and technical schools.
And you're so right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Dean Puckerin, I'm going to throw the mic over to you, and let's talk about the event, but also, talk about, again, the introduction that I read in relation to what the society is all about.
Okay. So before I get to that, and I'll let Ricardo tell you more about that, I wanted to promote, as you know, UC says celebrating 50 years in the community.
Yes.
And as part of that initiative, we're having a 50 for 50 STEM summer camp. And so that will take place from August 18th to the 22nd. And we want persons to support it. It's going to be a 1 week exciting extravaganza where they'll learn things about robotics, health and environmental science, computer programming, 3D design and printing, and that will happen from August 18th to the 22nd. So we want them to know that there are only 50 places. So we are going 50-50, and so there are only 50 spots. And from next week, persons can log on to ucci.edu.ky and register to be part of that program.
Okay, and what does the person's interest have to be? What qualifies you to be registered? What would you be looking for?
You have to be between the ages of 11 and 13. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the parents who are looking for something for their children to do, who have an interest in science, who have an aptitude of the STEM and science and those fields, that's who we're looking for. And we usually have an oversubscription, and so that's why we're putting it out there now, so that the first 50 can. And there's just a minimum cost that they will pay, thanks to CEC, the main sponsor, who has come on board again this year to support that 1 week training camp. And it's only half days that they'll be going from 9 until 12, so that keeps them very energized, going very creative in those different areas.
And how long have you been doing this now?
This has been, as I'm aware, this has been going more than 8 years now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, great. And always a different sponsor, or is it the same sponsor?
CEC has been our major sponsor over the last 5 years that I'm familiar with. Yes.
So let's repeat those dates. And,
It's August 18th to the 22nd at the UCCI. And from next week, you can log on to ucci.edu.ky, and the link will be there for you to register and pay the minimum registration fee. Like I said, the first 50 persons between ages 11 to 13 will be accepted for that program.
Okay. Does anyone want to add to anything to what Dean Puckerin said?
Mr. Ricardo will take it away for you.
I will take Oh, thank you again. So the Honor Society, as we mentioned before, it's a US-based, very prestigious organization that we wanted to align those prestige and those attributes towards our technical students at UCCI. So this is our inaugural event. The event is scheduled for June 5th. 2025. That is next week, Thursday, starting at 6 p.m. We have 21 participants so far that we have inducted in the National Honor Society. And we have a possible next 21 that is gearing to go next year as soon as they have qualified. So we are using this as a springboard to let persons know that technical education is alive and well, and not only alive and well, but there is some prestige that goes with technical education in that we can align those specific attributes and those aptitudes, yes, with those qualities that is needed for persons to go out there in the workforce and work. Because it is quite important that on the background of the Technical Honor Society, one of their purpose is to elevate workplace attributes and aptitudes. So in that elevation, we want to elevate the trainers. We want to elevate the educators and the persons that are doing the training, as they can go out there and elevate the workforce.
And
right?
you spoke about prestige in terms of technical
right.
Knowledge and stuff, but it's more than prestige as well.
Yes.
Well-paying jobs that certainly sometimes pay more than the white-collar jobs that we talk about as well.
Yes, sir. So it's not only prestige. I spoke about attributes, and it's not just the aptitude of the student. We want to talk about the attributes. So whether these are some leadership skills that the students are learning, integrity, those teamwork skills that are brought out within those trainings. So what we are looking for is not just for us to look on the students' transcript and as a qualifying mark that the students will have to get 3.3 GPA just qualify for the Honor Society. We want not just to look at their aptitude. We want to look at those attributes as well, and those attitudes that that goes with creating the best workforce person going out there to work in Cayman.
Are there any other benefits that are derived from from being a member of this society?
So there are several benefits. So it's falling on the background of elevating excellence in the Honor Society. That's the first thing. So we want to elevate excellence. On that springboard, we have persons that they have access to scholarships in excess of 300,000 worth of scholarships. So all you have to do is come to UCCI, register for the program, spend a year, after which we can induct you into the Honor Society, and then you will have a platform to go ahead now and be inducted and have access to that $300,000. We have professional trainings going on the platform. We have capacity building training going on the platform, right? So we have a wide variety of benefits that is there on the platform, but we want to celebrate the theme, excellence in TVET, and that is our emphasis on the induction ceremony, excellence in TVET.
Excellent. Okay, so we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we want to hear from Mr. Marshall. Of course, he's the adjunct professor for the project management course, and he will also be the guest speaker. I don't expect him to give us any pointers in terms of what he's going to say, but he can generalize, and in terms of what the focus will be on in terms of what he will be saying to the honoree. So with that, we're going to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Subway and Oreo has changed the dessert game. Introducing the Oreo footlong cookie, a full 12 inches of chocolatey, creamy goodness. It's big, it's bold, and it's here for a limited time. Perfect for sharing or not, we won't judge. Want it fast? Order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick pickup and earn loyalty points, or get it delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Don't wait. Treat yourself today. The Oreo footlong cookie is calling your name. Subway. Eat fresh. Snack sweet.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I am your guest host, Orrett Connor. Got in here a little bit late today. I guess in the military they would say I was AWOL. But I'm here now, and we are talking about the National Technical Honors Society and the ceremony that is taking place. We're also, talking about the launch date, what it does, and that conversation is taking place with Mr. Paul Puckerin, who's the Dean of the Professional and Technical Education and Training Division at UCCI, Mr. Ricardo Benjamin, who's the Program Director, TVET, and Coordinator of the NTHS's ceremony, and of course, Mr. soon-to-be Dr. Rohan Marshall, who's the adjunct professor for the project management course and also the guest speaker at the ceremony. I believe we do have a caller, so do we want to grab that caller? You gentlemen may want to put your headphones on. Let's grab the caller. What is the caller and what's up, Miss Susan? Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to talk. Well, on a regular line. Welcome to talk today, caller.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm just curious as to this program that was at the, I guess, UCCI. Is it? Are they going? Or what will be the main focus in the program as to the technical field? Because that's a vast field. So, is there going to be a Cayman Islands focus on the field that you're going to maybe try to impart some knowledge to at the beginning?
All right, thank you for that question, caller. The induction ceremony is about honoring the students, the present students that are currently enrolled in the program. So from those cohort, basically, what we have is electrical students, HVAC students, plumbing students, and HVAC, plumbing, and construction, and we have a few hospitality students. So those are the students that we currently have based on that skill set that are basically qualified to be inducted in the Honor Society at this moment.
Okay. Well, are there plans to get in a little more deeply into the electrical, as you call it, field, into the AI stuff and all this, because that is the future. And I would think one of the questions are Caymanians who's been in this field for, and there are quite a number of them who's been in this field for a long time, and I've gathered quite a bit of knowledge over the years about the various fields in the society. Is there going to be room for them to maybe join or have some participation?
All right, so we have a section, as long as we know the cohort, but we have our section that is attributed towards or honorary members. So even if you were a student, say for instance, you were a student at UCCI several years ago, and you would have completed quite a bit of training with us. And even if you weren't a student, but you have sufficient knowledge and skills within a particular area that our current students can actually learn from and be elevated in their profession. We have an honorary society basically that you can come on board. So it is not just for persons that are young and are currently at UCCI. There's a room and place for persons that have done their due diligence within their own field a few years back, and so you can impart those knowledge and skill to those students.
I think what we can also add that because this is the first segment of it to establish the chapter in itself in the Cayman Islands, as we go forward, we will explore and look at some of the thought processes that you've shared as well to see who are some of the other members and areas that of induction as we go from strength to strength in this award ceremony, because it will be an annual event, and I'm sure that after today's segment and after next Thursday's event, we will be getting lots of calls and inquiries about what next as far as the Cayman chapter.
Yeah, but put it like Sir Paul just said, we have gotten several calls and inquiries already, even though the program is scheduled to start next week. So wow. I know that persons are very keen on the fact that it is a technical honor society, and we have a lot of technical persons here in Cayman, and a lot of those persons will want to be a part of, and we are celebrating them as well, and we are inviting them to come to UCCI so we can know your history, so we can know what skill set is the best that we can align our students with, so we can create some form of mentorship and partnership with those students that they can learn from whatever experiences, whether it's good or bad, from whatever experiences that you would have gained over the years, so you can impart to our current students.
Okay, well, sounds like a good plan. So,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, caller. So we're going to go over to Mr. Marshall. The project management course at UCCI. Want to talk a little bit about that for us?
Let me start with this. I love teaching that course. It has been a year of fun. To see, I've had 2 classes. In fact, we started with only 1 class, and I think interest was garnered from one set of students to other students who then contacted Dean Paul and said, hey, can we have a second class? So we actually had a second class that started in the middle of the first class. And we're trying to get through the summer so we can get everybody all squared away and move into the fall semester with this course as well. We're also hoping to have a supervisors for project management course that'll start likely in the spring once it gets vetted and squared away. But the focus has always been, as you said earlier, through TVET. So our course is governed by the NCCR, so the National Center for Construction Education and Research.
Okay.
And I've been with this program for quite some time from my days with CUC, and getting a lot of the linemen and workmen trained in this profession. And I'm a proponent. I'm a firm believer that technical vocational training is our future. I mean, I obviously am white collar trained, but I've found myself much more inapt and much more satisfied, even with the son who's graduating with the same thing. He went to a technical vocational school, and he put his bet on it, and he said, I want to work with my hands, I want to get this, I want to do this. And I only gave him one simple agreement. I said, get your education, get your training, come and fix some planes, learn to fly a plane while you're at it, because that would be the non-technical side of it as I'm concerned. But being well-rounded so you understand how to fix planes and fly planes. And I see that similar thing with a lot of the students that we have that are coming through, particularly the construction industry. But our project management course is, I can have non-construction people come to our project management course. They are going to understand and learn what it means to manage a project in general, right? We agreed we center a lot of it on construction, but stuff like scheduling and project bids and health and safety, which is obviously my forte. A lot of these courses are in there, and it can go across other areas. So if you are an operations manager, then this is a course for you, because at some point you're going to have stuff that needs to be done, and the project needs to be managed accordingly, right? Particularly budgets, et cetera. So I take one of my students gave me a good review, which is nice, because having been a third generation teacher, I've heard my fair share of horror stories, but I've also heard the rewards from both my father and my mother. And he said, you give a very practical approach to this course, and I can go home and relate to my own job based on what you're giving. And I thought, well, if we can do this, why don't we expand? So I came back to, Mr. Benjamin and Mr. Puckerin and said, look, we should probably expand. And then they came to me and said, well, we also have the Honor Society. I said, okay, this sounds like a plan, because this is now truly expanding the TVET course. When I remember coming home from college, I won't say how long ago, because that might give away how old I really am. But Mr. Walling Whitaker at the time was a proponent of TVET. And then I was hooked, because, starting off and doing the health and safety training, health and safety teaching, health and safety management, I was able to see all of this. And he said, this is our future. And here we are now, fast forwarding to 2025, and we're seeing this full fold. As you said earlier, 2 or 3 years in a technical school, you're coming out making $70,000, $80,000. Okay, 4 years in a brick and mortar traditional school, you're coming out, you may make 30 or 40, you've got about $50,000 or $60,000 in debt, and then you've got to learn as you go. These guys are coming out with a technical training vocation. So for us, and again, particularly project management, I love because we're taking what you already know as in your technical field and then giving you the skill set to be able to take that to any job. Okay.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we're going to continue the conversation with Mr. Rohan Marshall as well, because we want to talk about what the course covers as well, and also why is it so important for the Cayman Islands, to have, such a thing as a project management course as well. Folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. The new National Conservation Council will discuss the environmental impact assessment screening for the Marriott Coastline development when they meet on Monday. You'll be able to watch the meeting live at 3:15 p.m. on the DOE's YouTube channel. Questions or comments to the council may be submitted to conservationcouncil@gov.ky until Friday, the 30th of May. In regional news, the Belize government plans to create a gun and gang court to address violent crime, ensuring the judiciary remains independent. Prime Minister John Berciano stressed the need for constitutional authority to establish a specialized court for gang and firearm-related cases. While acknowledging deeper social and economic factors driving crime, Berciano said the new court is a temporary solution. The government also proposes constitutional amendments to allow the National Security Council to recommend states of emergency when warranted. This move follows a court ruling requiring the government to compensate 16 men unlawfully held under a 2020 state of emergency. Berciano confirmed plans to appeal, but the case won't be heard until March 2026. The Guyana fishing vessel Sea Knight sank 20 miles off of the Peroon River on Sunday night due to a sudden leak. Captain Monzil Thomas was rescued near the river's mouth, while crew members Delon Sandy, Patrick McRae, and John McRae Jr. were found drifting 6 nautical miles away wearing life jackets. The rescued men received medical attention at the Coast Guard headquarters before being safely transported home. That is your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands. Hinton Roxroy Connolly was born in Creek, Cayman on 9th of September 1937. Fondly known as Big H to his family and friends, both a sailor and electrical technician with 5 years at sea and 29 years with cable and wireless, in January 1960, Big H married Cicely Dilbert of Creek, Cayman and had 5 sons. In October 1976, he was united in his second marriage to Francine Porter of Spot Bay, Cayman and they had 1 daughter. Big H was a part of the band Eddie and the Beach Boys, and in August 1977 traveled to New York where he recorded and published his album, A Quick Drink by the Pool Bar. Big H could always be found at the Hilton, his backyard kitchen, which he built in the late 80s to house in yams and cassava he cultivated on the bluff, later converting it into an outdoor kitchen which was named the Las Vegas Hilton. Big H spent the majority of his time at the Hilton, and you would find him playing his guitar and singing his heart out while sipping on his 345 beers. He was known for having many cook-ups with his famous beef and pork. On the evening of Wednesday, 18th September 2019, 9 days after celebrating his 82nd birthday, Hinton passed away peacefully at the Health City Hospital in East End, Grand Cayman. He was the proud father of 6 children, along with 17 grandchildren and 11 great-grandchildren. Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. For those of you who are just joining us, we're talking about the National Technical Honor Society, the launch of that, which is taken place, and that's part of the University College of the Cayman Islands, who are proud to announce the official launch, of this chapter as well. That conversation is taking place with Mr. Paul Puckerin, who is the Dean of the Professional and Technical Education and Training Division, Mr. Ricardo Benjamin, who's the Program Director, TVET, and Coordinator of the NTHS ceremony, and Mr. Rohan Marshall, who's the adjunct professor for the project management course, and he will also be the guest speaker at the NTHS ceremony as well. So we were talking about the let me make sure I find the NCCER project management course, which covers construction, documents and cost control, safety and quality assurance, leadership and communications, conflict resolution and continuous improvement. Also practical training that combines technical expertise with real world experience and skills, as well. So off there, we were talking about your student, your classes. What are they comprised of? Just students having an interest, wanting to enter the field of project management, or do we have a mixture, Mr. Marshall?
It's a pretty big mixture. Thank you, Mr. O.
Bring that mic a little closer.
It's a mixture. We've had students that are currently enrolled in other NCCR program courses, and it's a natural progression for them to move from, for example, electrical 1, 2, and 3, plumbing 1, 2, and 3, HVAC 1, 2, and 3, and when they've gotten to that level, they want to be able to look at how do they supervise and manage projects accordingly. So they've enrolled. I have a number of government statutory and government project managers that have actually enrolled as well.
Okay.
And they've reaped the benefits of how to effectively manage those projects. I know when I first met a few, they were hesitant because they said, well, there's a lot of red tape. I said, well, the red tape is there, but if you're planning accordingly, you'll get past that pretty easily, as opposed to being bogged down with the day-to-day mundane.
Mm-hmm.
So look at the overall project. So one of the biggest things that you mentioned earlier, thank you, was you spoke about scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
And scheduling is a big one. I think a lot of people say, well, I can manage a project, but they don't understand what it means to be able to have a schedule. So, I've spoken about software that's incorporated that they can use. There's other software that will allow for you to create projects that, it's a first start, last finish, first start, last finish, last start. And it's essentially what it does is, in order for this task to be done, if you think about it from a building standpoint, in the Caribbean, we have some of the most stringent and some of the best houses built in the Caribbean. We've been hit with some class 4s and 5s, and not even today. I can go back to Wattle and Daub houses, and they were project managed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there was a way for the project to be done in a particular way. Fast forward to today, and the students that I'm teaching are also being able to see that benefit to, we need to be able to have X done, or better yet, what happens if we can't ship an item in? So a lot of our course studies, I give them particular course homework, course assignments. Some, like, for example, create for me a schedule that allows for you to have to import an item in the middle of the hurricane season.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, wait, what? I said, well, what happens if you've got the hurricane that came off the East Coast? What do you do with your delays? I said, because it's not that it's going to show up. You may end up having a 5, 6, 7 week delay. Mm-hmm. So what do you do now, right? So it really, and as you mentioned, the interpersonal skills, being able to go back to your supplier, your developer, your stakeholders,
Mm-hmm.
and say, hey, we're going to have a delay because this has occurred.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times I've recognized that a lot of project managers don't know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to take that step and say and speak. So I found that was the most engaging part of the course that we had, as well as communication. And I'm all about communication.
Yeah.
It's like, we need to be able to speak, articulate what has occurred. And part of the 11 modules that we have, at least 3 or 4 will touch on communication, interpersonal skills, negotiation.
Okay, so Mr. Puckerin, we want to do a sort of wrap up now, and let's talk about some of the final takeaways, and don't forget to mention all of those important dates that we spoke about earlier as well, sir.
Okay. So again, we want to thank you and by extension Radio Cayman for having us to promote the launch of the National Technical Honor Society, which the Cayman chapter is happening on June 5th. As Mr. Ricardo noted, he's coordinated, and we see that as building the brand for TVET in the Cayman Islands. Mr. Rohan will be our guest speaker. And he's also our project management teacher, adjunct as well. And what we are promoting this because we recognize that construction has just blossomed all across the Cayman Islands, and we want to invite all of those persons who our managing projects who think they need this is for them. And our next iteration will be in September, but we are open now to receiving applications, so they can come to the UCCI, begin to register, and make sure that they have a space, because we are limited. We cannot go past 25 in a class. The current class, we had 21 and we were bursting at the seams.
And the course runs for how long?
It runs ideally for a year, but with the expertise of Mr. Rohan, he was able to finish it within 9 months, because he had an enthusiastic group. But it runs over. They get international certification through NCCR, and it's modular in how they are assessed. By that I mean that they score the exam, they score 70%, and they move on. So they don't have to wait until the end of the program in order to be assessed.
Excellent. And again, the launch will take place at UCCI.
At UCCI. So if Radio Cayman is available to come and cover, we welcome that. And the final thing, our 50th anniversary STEM camp activity, which is happening August 18th to the 22nd. From next week, persons can go online and begin to register. There are only 50 spots. It's $25 that they will have to pay. The rest is covered through the kind sponsorship of the Cayman Enterprise City, who's the main sponsor of that event.
Excellent. Well, gentlemen, I want to wish you all the best, as well, and look forward to hearing more about all of these great initiatives that has taken place at UCCI as well. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we will be talking about the public school meals program, and we will have representatives from the Ministry of Education as well as the Health Services Authority. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Thank you, sir.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Attention Northside and East End residents. The Department of Environmental Health Northside and East End Bulk Waste Collection will take place between May 26th to 30th. This bulk waste collection will replace the traditional year-end collection. Household appliances, furniture, and other items too large to be handled by the weekly DEH collection crews should be placed by the roadside, where it's easily accessible to the DEH's collection crews. Metals and vegetation should also be separated from other bulk items. Do not obstruct the roadway or storm drains, or place tires, construction, and demolition waste, hazardous materials, or electronics. For more information on the North Side and East End bulk waste collection from May 26th to 30th, please contact the DEH's Solid Waste Management Section at 949-6696.
Hungry? Need Subway any time of the day?
Yeah.
We've got you covered. Subway at Anderson Square, Centennial Towers, and Countryside Shopping Village is open 24/7, serving up fresh, delicious subs anytime you need them. And for your weekend cravings, West Shore Center is also open 24 hours on Friday nights and until 1 a.m. on Saturdays, because it's never too late for a great meal. Skip the line and order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app, or get your favorites delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Fresh, fast, and always here when you need us. Subway, eat fresh.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I am your guest host, Orrett Connor, and in this segment, we will be talking about public school lunch meal program. Our guest in the studio from the Ministry of Education, Mr. Elroy Bryan, and Ms. Liana Coggins, and from the Health Services Authority, Ms. Tamara Whorms-Riley. Folks, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to start with Mr. Elroy Bryan from the Ministry of Education, and tell us, about the public school meal program, what it is all about.
Okay. So what I will do is anything that I miss, Miss Liana will jump in as well, because I'm the newest team member to the program. So basically right now the goal is for us to offer at least 2 free meals, a snack, and 2 beverages on a daily basis for all public school students, which was slightly different than what we had before, where we had means testing and those things. So currently all students get access to free meals, which is a good thing for us.
So irrespective of your financial standing,
Correct.
It will be offered to you.
Correct. So before we would have mean tested, we would have worked closely with Feed Our Future. And then we also had Kiwanis who at times would help out with the breakfast program. So currently now our students are getting, as I said, breakfast, snack, and beverages that are now included. The program tries to ensure that we offer nutritious meals, so hence the reason why we have the partnership with HSA, and she's here today, to ensure that we're in compliance with those things. And we also, at the same time, want to make sure that it's value for money and it's cost effective in what we're doing, which at times can be a challenge because our students, sometimes the options that they prefer may not always be the most nutritious options, but we try to ensure that we work within those areas. And I'll let Miss Liana or the team add anything that I may have missed.
Sure. Grab the microphone and go right ahead.
I think Mr. Elroy covered most of it. The only thing I would add is that we don't only offer it in government schools, it's for all students enrolled in government programs that are of compulsory age. What that means is we do have some students who are in sixth form. They attend private institutions and they are allowed to access meals through the program.
At the private institution?
Correct.
Yes.
But they have to be enrolled in a government program.
Okay.
Like the A levels.
Is there any stigma attached to that if you were in a private in a private school but attached to a government program, and you may be mixing with students who pay for their own meals? Is there any way to discern the difference between a person who's receiving a government free meal and one who isn't?
Generally, no, because of the system that we use. We have an online system where our students just either pre-order their meals or they can collect just as normal as any other student. We haven't had any feedback of students feeling discriminated
Great.
or feeling that they are any less than any of the other students. I suppose now after the program, if there is that feel that way, we may get that feedback. But no, the students at SciFec also have access to the program. Students at UCCI who are doing our dual entry program, meaning they've just graduated from year 11, they also have access to the program. In fact, we've had students from some of the private schools actually wishing that they had the same kind of access that our students have. So all around, it's a great program for students.
Okay, Ms. Coggins, you want to add anything?
So I am Ms. Coggins.
Sorry.
Whorms, that's fine. I'm Liana.
That's fine.
Yes.
So I'm Tamara. So I'm the Community Dietitian in the Public Health Department, and we partner with the Ministry of Education, the Department of Health, Department of Education Services, to actually recommend different types of meals where they may fall short in terms of the canteen concessionaires. They would do their menus. So they have people who do their menus for them. And once those menus are submitted, we usually go through the menus and we make recommendations as to what may be more nutritious or, more calorie dense and would offer more, what we would say, more nutritionally balanced meals. And once we make those recommendations, then they would go through the menus and make the updates as necessary.
And do you find that they're usually compliant with the recommendations that you make?
For the most part, most schools are compliant with the recommendations, as we do use the checklist from the government school food standards that is in place. So once we go through the checklist with them, they're usually compliant, because I think it's a situation where knowing versus not knowing. So once they do know and they do know what they need to do, they tend to make the effort to make the changes that will enhance the foods that they do provide to the students.
Okay.
Mr. Ozzy, one thing I'd like to add, one of the emphasis for the program is not only just getting a meal, but ensuring that we have balanced, nutritious, tasty options for our children. Of course, they have to be well presented. So it's in our providers' interest to ensure that we meet all of those standards, and because, of course, we want our children to actually enjoy the meal, not just have it for having its sake. Okay. So we try and we've been working towards ensuring that it's a product that our children want to have.
So along those lines, along that train of thought, do the students get an opportunity to have any input in terms of suggestions and what they would want as well?
Absolutely. We do regular surveys with our students. We also encourage our meal providers to have dialogue with our students. So some of them, for example, meet monthly with students. They have a club at their school, for example, and they give regular feedback. So, and our children are not afraid to ask for what they want. They're not afraid to give their opinion. So they give input in various ways.
And how closely is the compliance monitored as far as the food providers are concerned?
We have several things. Mr. Bryan can jump in if I miss anything, but we do regular school visits to ensure, one, they are serving what they've said they're going to serve. Miss Tamara here gets the menu beforehand. She checks it, she vets it, and we go in to make sure that they're in compliance with that. What they say they're serving today is actually on the menu. We try to ensure compliance in terms of their invoicing. So from a business perspective, they are, charging for what they said they have charged. So we scrutinize every bit and piece. We ask the children for their feedback. We ask the parents for their feedback. The schools are also involved to ensure that the vendors are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So they're from all ends, all aspects. DES is also involved. That's the Department of Education Services. They also help us to monitor operations on the ground to ensure that the program is running the way it should.
And just that,
sure,
we also look at some of the contractual things as well. So, for example, obviously it's tendered, this is procured, so it means that there would be KPIs and those things as well contractually that they have to meet. So we would also use those things to help with compliance and safety to make sure that the vendors are aligning with what we would need them to do to stay compliant.
Forgot the Department of Environmental Health too. They also play a role in ensuring that safety and other standards are met health-wise.
And also once we have some sort of complaint as well, we usually go into the schools to ensure that the students' needs are being met. So most times we will do just pop-up checks to make sure that this is what is happening, because as Miss Liana mentioned, it's about not just preparing the meal, but it's about palatability and how it's served to the students, because sometimes it's not just that it's not tasting good. Sometimes just looking at it,
yes,
we have kids who
presentation,
just
yes,
does not
yes.
want to have it. So we look at all of those things when we go into the schools.
Okay, now I want to make sure I get the names right. Now, Ms. Coggins, you mentioned the fact that if you are involved or registered in a government program, so let's say, use as an example, a family who's receiving government assistance for preschool.
Correct.
They would fall into that category as well in terms of
accessing the meal.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, our preschool support is slightly different. So when I mentioned, when I said government programs, I said compulsory government programs. So
yes,
compulsory
yes,
age,
right.
usually children 5 and over. We do have 2 institutions with nurseries, children who are 4 years and between 4 and 5. So those children fall under the program. But the preschool students, they get another support. Our ECAP program covers their schooling and other.
And when you do have this mixture where, let's say, for instance, they're mixed in a, let's say, high school, but they're doing their A levels or whatever, and they still qualify for that program. How do you go about then inspecting and ensuring that your standards are met as well? Because your students in your program there may be secondary to what the school is doing in terms of the population-wise, but you still go in and monitor to ensure that at least your cohorts are that they're adhering to the standards that you have set for your cohorts.
Yes, generally, and these standards aren't anything that should be new or vendors or providers. Anybody involved in food business and feeding children should generally adhere to some basic standards. So currently the standards are for government schools, but we are working towards developing nutritional guidelines and so on for all children in the Cayman Islands to make sure that we are compliant with international standards at the very minimum. So we do go in and we generally hold our meal providers, our vendors responsible for provision, all aspects of provision. So even if they're providing for government schools and private schools, it's the same dishes, a wide variety of dishes. Our children can get the same things that other children are getting in those institutions.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, I want to talk a little bit about the importance of that change over from a means test to just opening it up to everyone. Fairly progressive, but why is it so important? Why was it so important that we implement something like that here in the Cayman Islands as well? Folks, please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly. Thank you. Yeah, it's extreme.
Have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I am your guest host, Orrett Connor, and in the studio with me we have from the Ministry of Education, Mr. Elroy Bryan and Miss Liana Coggins, and from the Health Services Authority, Miss Tamara Whorms-Riley. We're talking about the public school meal program and just a little bit of information, which Mr. Bryan mentioned earlier as well, but I will repeat. So the school meal program is managed by the Ministry of Education and Training, specifically through the Compulsory Education Unit. So the some of the program's core goals are, number one, to provide 2 free meals, a snack, and 2 beverages daily to all public school students. Also to ensure compliance with the national nutritional standards and to maintain cost efficiency while improving nutritious sustainability and student satisfaction as well. And like I said before, we went to the break, certainly, very progressive novelty in the Cayman Islands, but we always use the phrase, the adage, our children are our future. Right. And if we want to have a bright and healthy future, we must treat our children as such, and part of that has to do with what they consume, as well. So let's talk about the novelty, of this here in the Cayman Islands. We talk about Cayman, and it is a very expensive place to live. We talk about the cost of living in the Cayman Islands, but we also have high standards, as well. And we're not a poor country. Some people say, we don't have a money problem. We have a spending problem in the Cayman Islands. But if we spend it wisely, like on our children, then that is money well spent. Correct. Mr. Bryan.
Yeah, so I think you're actually correct. Obviously, I'll start in, and I know my colleagues have quite a bit to say about this. But I think in looking at it, there's a lot of research behind that shows that if students are coming to school and their needs are not being met, especially looking at from a food perspective, we look at Maslow hierarchy of needs and those things. One of the first things we learn as educators, and putting back on my hat when I was in the classroom, you will find that we will have, and we did have students, even when we were mean testings and those things, where students were still falling through the gaps. So the goal, as you rightfully said, is to ensure that we provide our students with the most nutritious meals that we can and opportunities to these meals. And that is what I feel that we've actually done. So we can always continue to improve on it. But I think the important thing is to give them the opportunity. And we do find that there are students that look forward to this opportunity that they've been given. So we have to look at that. And I know my colleague has some information on some of the benefits of the program and those things. So I don't want to take up all the time on this area. I know I have colleagues here that, especially I heard my colleague from HSA was actually quite passionate about this, looking at the other jurisdictions and the fact that we're probably one of the first that have actually implemented this.
Right. So not necessarily the first, but we are amongst the few to have initiated this program. And to be honest, a lot of the other countries within the region really look at our standards as one of the good ones, and so they are looking to emulate what is happening here. I've been asked questions after going to meetings about how do we sustain this program and how are the students accepting what we're giving to them. And I do believe, as Mr. Bryan rightfully said, that most of the students do look forward to coming to school in the morning, not having to think about what are they going to eat. And remember that once you step into the classroom and you are already filled, then we know that good glucose that goes to your brain will have you more focused rather than falling asleep because of hunger, or because the food that we provide to you, it's meeting most of the nutrient dense need that we want to give to you, such as healthier carbohydrates, which will allow you now to focus better rather than being in class and actually feeling hyper or having too much glucose in your system. So what we want to implore parents to do is to really work with us, because what we're trying to do, we're trying to ensure that when your child comes to school, they are ready to learn. They're not jittery, they're not falling asleep, because we are working towards giving them the best nutrition, and that is what's most important. So if you don't have to worry about what you get to give to them in the morning, we sit down and we look at that for you, so that when they go to school, we are ensuring that they get the proper nutrition. Because I know sometimes people will complain about what it looks like, but really and truly, it's not the carbohydrate, but it's the quality of the carbohydrate.
What if a child has any particular allergies or adverse reaction to things? How do the parents notify you of that as well? And
right.
how
So
get around that?
To be honest, we do get emails, and we were in discussion about this yesterday, and from what we know now is that they do have it on the POS system, that once they go in to order the child's meal, they can put the child's allergies in the system. And to be honest, after our meeting yesterday, I did have a young patient who asked me that very question, and I was so happy to say, hey, now you don't have to worry, because that was one of the worry about, I don't want to eat the lunch at school, that because when I go there, I feel like they're going to give me the peppers, and I don't want to have the peppers because I'm going to get sick. So I actually, advised both parents were there, which thankfully, so I advised them that you do have a system to put in your child's allergies, and their needs will be catered for accordingly.
Excellent. Ms. Coggins?
Yes, and there are more than one places where this can be done. In school, they can enter the information on our new management information system called Arbor. We do have a point of sale. Ms. Tamara alluded to the fact that we do have a point of sale system where we input meal information, so we're able to track what children eat. We're able to, parents can pre-order, teachers can see, the school administration can see, the Ministry of Education can see. So all of our partners are involved in ensuring that information is on that system. Now, we do have children who have severe allergies and so on. We do encourage parents or listeners to have dialogue with not only their teachers to educate their children, and also to have conversations with the meal providers, just to be extra careful with students. So we do cater to the common allergens. One of the things that we do when we do our school visits is to try and ensure that there is no cross-contamination. But things happen. So we do encourage our parents to prepare their children and to be prepared, as well as the schools. But we try to do what we can do from our end.
Okay.
And just to say as well that in regards to students like at the Lighthouse School, so when I was there, we had students that obviously needed to eat food that would have been softer and those things. So we do have vendors that actually will go out of their way to ensure that we also can provide for those students as well. So for the parents, the best thing that they can do is to ensure that they communicate with us. That's one of the things we wanted to do today, is to come on so that people were aware of the program, but also to let them know that we are very interested in hearing from them, and also our students. I know our high school students, because when I go to John Gray, especially if it's lunchtime, they don't hesitate to tell you if they want something back, French fries or hamburgers or whatever it may be. So you know what it was like when we were younger. So so definitely we want to make sure that one of the things that we definitely do, and I know we're not wrapping up yet, is just to make sure that parents communicate with us and keep us informed.
School meals at gov.ky.
And they can also do school menus at hsa.ky.
Excellent. So can we talk a little bit more about the coordination with the meal providers and the public health team as well?
All right. So it's actually a twofold thing, because we work with the Ministry of Education. So it's actually basically we are a resource person to both the DES, the MOE, and the canteen concessionaires. So once the menus are sent in to us and we go through the menus, we usually provide them with a feedback. Once we use the standards checklist to go through to make sure that the standards are being met, we provide them with this feedback to let them know, okay, perhaps you could change this or you could change that to ensure that there is compliance, or also to make the food a little bit more nutritious or more palatable, because you want to make sure that you feed the eyes first. So we usually provide them with that information. We also do workshops with them once we're asked to, because often we're asked to do some set workshops with the canteen concessionaires, and we go through meal preparation, meal planning, providing nutritious meals, how to meet the nutrient needs of the people that they serve, which are our students. So those are some ways that we collaborate with the canteen concessionaires, and we do go to the schools and have one-on-one with the managers in the canteen. I've had meetings with the canteen managers alone by themselves in their space. So I've done that and provided them with feedback as to how can you make this different or better or taste better or look better. How can you change the appearance to make it more, child friendly? So those are some of the things that we do when we talk about collaboration. We meet with them one-on-one. We talk with the DES, and we also talk to them via emails, or we do our workshops with them.
Now, are we...
Can I...
Sure.
Tamara, you forgot to add that we do workshops with our parents now. We haven't had one in recent times, but we try to get our parents on board just to continue the program at home, because, of course, that's their first point of exposure to meals and so on, and we don't want parents undoing some of the things that we do in the school. So we do make suggestions. Here are some things that you can work on at home with your children, just to kind of get them used to serving brown rice, for example. Our children are not used to certain, things. And of course, we have to ensure that our vendors are culturally aware, and our parents also understand that we are preparing global citizens. So we try to expose them to a wide variety of meals and meal options. Right. So we do encourage parents to, keep in communication, even if we don't have those formal workshops. But
we do send home leaflets and pamphlets and things like that. So when you go into the schools, I've always left information so that parents could be educated as well.
Okay. Now, you mentioned, culture and heritage there, and that was the question that I wrote down actually in terms of how are we able to incorporate our culture and our heritage into the feeding of our children as well. And we know quite well that many of the things that we eat aren't necessarily all that healthy, for us, but we have grown up,
Correct.
I had a friend who had a heart condition, and, a very large percentage of his heart wasn't functioning because of blockage. But he loved his turtle meat every Friday. And his decision was, I'm going to have to go someday, so I may as well go. I may as well go feeling satisfied in terms of, what it is that I want to eat as well. So are we able to incorporate some of our, our local foods into those menus as well?
Well, I have had discussions with the canteen managers about that, and they've actually asked some of those questions, and we've gone through trying to incorporate local foods that children would appreciate as well. So many of them have been doing that. We've had the canteen concessionaires in the BRAC who have added some local foods to their menus as well. So yes, right. So many of them have done that, and I've spoken to them because I didn't want to have them providing meals that children can't really understand or identify with. Yeah. So I've actually, given them ideas as to things that they could incorporate to make it more child friendly and from local foods that we have here.
Additionally, we encourage our meal providers to support culture days at schools. So they will prepare meals that are specifically culturally relevant. So on that day, the children can get their turtle, they can get their whelks, they can get their
Cayman style beef
so
and
everything
stuff like that.
Cayman. In many of our schools, we also we try as much as possible to use vendors from the district where that cultural relevance is important. Not to say it's not important elsewhere, and we do have open procurement, so we still have to be compliant with our regulations and laws and so on, but we try to incorporate the Caymanian culture as much as we can across the program.
Okay, so let's talk about the project transition phases and stuff like that as well, Mr. Bryan.
Okay. So in regards to any transition phases, I think we do have some upcoming things. We obviously have been working on the procurement process and focusing on some obviously new contracts and those things. So as a part of that, we're hoping to have those things hopefully wrapped up. But obviously we do have a new minister and a new CEO. So we also have to, get a steer in some of those areas. We've also been working on an outline business case for the program on a whole. So Ms. Liana has done quite a lot of work with that, with a team there. So some of the things that we continue to try to work on would always be to see how we can look at the reduction of food waste and being more eco-friendly. So we do have one or two schools that have, in our government system, have taken up some of the initiatives. Some of them have actually looked to implement dishwashers and stuff to try to look at going away from the paper, which has been helpful. So those are some of the things that we're always trying to do to see how we can reduce costs, and we want to always show value for money. So the biggest things would be some of those areas. I'm not sure if I missed anything. The team can always...
No, you mostly covered some of the initiatives that we're working on. We're always looking to improve, always seeking feedback, always trying to implement, try new things, try different things.
Yes, and we've discussed the tray program, where instead of using the paper boxes or plates, we have trays where students can feel more at home, with their trays. So we also in public health have been in discussions with together in terms of getting the reusable My Plates that we've distributed before in schools. So many of our students know these plates. It's reusable, and it shows you the allotment on your plate, and it's something that if we have it in schools, then the students will be more familiar with what should be on their plates as well. So we're looking to get those and to start off with some of the schools that have already implemented the dishwasher system.
Okay, now I don't expect either of you to answer this, because I realize that you all are civil servants or public servants, as well. But we know that the strategic policy statement is being prepared now, because it has to be presented sometime later on in the next few weeks as well. And while this is a new program, there may be some who may think that it is a little bit too ostentatious. Many would disagree, including, your host here. I would disagree with it, because I think it is money, well spent as well. So we hope that the continuity of this program is there, that it doesn't revert back to a needs assessment situation, and where you look at your financial position and decide whether or not you're going to free me. Like I said, I don't expect any of you to comment on that, because I certainly respect the positions that you find yourselves in.
Well, I guess what we could say is that obviously our responsibility, as you see, Ms. Liana has a section on program benefits.
Correct.
So I think our goal would be to actually provide the position that we are in, and also share the benefits that the program has brought. And then obviously then our new minister, new government can then take a position on that. So we could obviously show them where we were. I can see some cons that we had before with means testing and those things, as I said. Because as I recall, when I was principal of Lighthouse School, we actually partnered with two not-for-profit. It was Kiwanis, who covered mostly the breakfast program. And at that time, sometimes we would have to identify students based on if they were to come to me. But if a student never came, because sometimes you have families who don't want to disclose the hardships that they're going through, we might actually would have had a lot of students that could have been falling through the cracks. And then with the means testing, some people don't want to open up their public and their personal budgets, the scrutiny.
Yes.
Right. So there's some things there as well. So with this program, obviously, as Ms. Liana has been saying and the team has been saying, we always want to improve it, but we can clearly see benefits. And I don't know if Ms. Liana.
Yeah, let's talk about those benefits, because what our listening and viewing audience as well, they will know what they are. So if there any hints come around, they're going to cut the school meals program. They will know what the benefits are, and they will advocate for maintaining it as well.
And Tamara can give some more insights into this. Of course, there are public health gains, just generally better eating habits for our populace. Our children are future transcends into less pressure on our healthcare system and so on. Yes. So those are future benefits. Right. Some of them are current.
Obesity issues that we have in our young folks.
Yes, diabetes and other lifestyle diseases related to eating habits, and Tamara can do some more. Give some more insights into that. We have reduced food insecurity. So just to give you some stats, not a lot, just a few. Sure. We have 94% of our students that were recently surveyed say that they access the program. They take at least one meal. So we do have generally high uptake for the program. Now, not the other 6% could be students that have allergens or just prefer to have home-cooked meals. There are a variety of other reasons why we don't have 100% of children always taking meals every day. On average, we have about 75% of our students that take meals every single day. So that's a good 3/4 of our population and more. We do have 83% of our parents saying that they appreciate the financial relief that came as a result of the implementation of this program. So we do have a large percentage of our population who are grateful for the benefits that have been derived. And of course, we do support the local economy. We create employment because we do have vendors who need to provide. We have, local produce and so on. We do need to do some more work in that area, but we're working towards using local produce and so on. And of course, we are trying to just generally stimulate business growth and development and so on. I could give more, but over 70% of our children, though, have reported that they feel less hungry while they're at school, and they're able to focus on their schoolwork while they are in.
Right, and I was about to say that in general, that students who have access to a healthy breakfast usually tend to perform better in schools. They perform better at all levels, because once your brain is filled with the right types of glucose, then your focus is better. And to be honest, with this program being a more long-term program and extended. One, you mentioned about obesity. Obesity is something that we look at not just today, but futuristically. And over time, as children grow and they start to make changes, I usually say to them, don't look at what you're achieving this minute, look at what you will achieve in the future. So at the end of the day, when we look at this program and we're saying, but children are obese, it's not doing anything, it's not going to do it today. But give us time. As we change children's eating habits in school, we'll change how they go to the supermarkets with their parents. We'll change how they eat when they go home. We will change what they prepare for dinner. What I realized too is a lot of children will come to me and say, Miss Tamara, I told mommy that they shouldn't buy this because this is what you tell us we should eat. I remember I went to one school to just do a spot check, and the students, they bombarded me and they're like, Miss Tamara, you're the one who told them that we shouldn't get Takis at school. so I was like,
no sodas, no chips.
They always attack me like, you told him I should get Takis. I said, well, to be honest, the whole point of giving better snacks is to ensure that you are not being fueled with the wrong types of energy. And so when I finished talking with them, I remember one of them said, to be honest, Miss Tamara, I didn't look at it that way. And I said, there's always quite a bit of way to look at things. But remember, you're heading towards 11th grade and you're going to do CXCs. And don't you feel better when we give you these foods after lunchtime? And she said, well, that is true. It's healthy, but we don't like healthy things. But I do feel better. And the fact is that she was being honest. And she said, I'm being honest because usually when we used to get our own snack after school, after PE or so, they would feel tired. They want to sleep. And so now that they're getting different foods, they're feeling better and they're not falling asleep after lunchtime.
Okay, we're going to give Mr. Elroy Bryan a final word here. And what we didn't talk about, but even though they had been mentioned, some of the challenges that you're still facing, we heard one in relation to local products and stuff like that. If you could touch a little bit on that as well.
All right, so basically, in speaking with the team, obviously we're always dealing with rising food costs, and I think a lot of us here in Cayman deal with that on a regular basis. I actually prefer to let my wife go to the supermarket because every time I go, it scares me, the prices. But yeah, so we're always trying to obviously partner. The partnerships with our vendors are critical in order for us to continue to try to drive down food costs, as well as ensuring that when we look at making any alterations, we continue to partner with HSA, that any changes are remaining within the nutritional guidelines, and that we're not obviously throwing out nutrition for lower costs. And we know sometimes, sometimes it's amazing for me to see that the food that is not as good for us sometimes tends to be a little bit cheaper sometimes, which can be a challenge. We also just looked at technical issues, just to name another. So sometimes we do have our network that could go down, but we do have a system in place that we can track students' meals that they're taking. So what we were looking on is just continuing to ask our parents to be patient with us. Obviously, if there are challenges, we want to work with you. We appreciate you coming and talking with us. As was said before, we do have the email address, schoolmeals@gov.ky. So we really want parents to continue to use our platform, the POS platform, pre-order where you can. That really helps us out a lot. Make sure that they participate in all of our surveys, the workshops that they heard about today, making sure that they continue just to engage in all the sessions that we offer, and also just for them to continue to provide direct feedback to us. We really look forward to those conversations with them and on how we can improve the program.
Okay, I want to thank all of you for what you do and your respective departments and ministries do to help to keep our students safe and healthy, as well. Thank you very much, and
thank you for having us.
We remain available, to dispense any additional information, as well in this regard. But it is certainly a program that the Cayman Islands, all of the people of the Cayman Islands, should be proud of. Extremely proud of.
We are certainly proud of the ministry.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much, folks. So we're going to go to our headline news at 2:00, and I believe after that we're going to have open mic, Miss Susan, at 2:00 as well. And on our open mic, I want to get some feedback from our listeners out there in relation to school lunch menus, as well as talking about the UCCI and project management. I have some information that I want to talk about in relation, to that as well, because there, as far as project management is concerned, there are lots of opportunities out there, but the question is, are they available to Caymanians, or are Caymanians, do they find themselves in the position where they're ready to take up these opportunities as well? Please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
Talking about us.
Living in your head rent-free all this time.
We must be relevant. Radio Cayman since 1976. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. Demisio Frederick will make his first appearance in the Grand Courts on Friday, following his arrest by police last week when he arrived at the Owen Roberts International Airport. He was arrested on suspicion of murder of Christopher Johnson, whose body was found on New Year's Eve night on Middle Road in Georgetown. Mr. Frederick appeared in summary court last Friday, where the matter was sent to the Grand Courts. No pleas have yet been entered into the matter. In regional news, St. Vincent Police investigations into last Friday's triple murder in Belmont continues, despite 25-year-old Kezroy Ryan's appearance in court on Monday, charged with 3 murders and attempted murder. Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police Trevor Bailey assured the public that authorities will track down all involved. Ryan is accused of killing Leslie Davis, Damone Cumberbatch, and Joel Brown, and attempting to murder 3 others. He was remanded until the 2nd of June. Surveillance footage shows masked men firing into a shop before entering. One struggled with his weapon before another attacker continued shooting. Acting Commissioner Enville Williams urged the public to help combat gun violence. May has seen 6 of the country's 16 homicides this year, worsening concerns over crime. Authorities remain committed to justice. In other regional news, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has acknowledged public concern over the recent return of 21 nationals from the United States. The Ministry of Homeland Security confirmed that the individuals previously in U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement custody were formally requested for repatriation. A coordinated multi-agency operation facilitated the arrival of 17 of them on Saturday. Deputy Commissioner of Police Suzette Martin assured that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is working with key stakeholders to ensure their structured reintegration. She emphasized ongoing assessments to support their transition back into society. That is your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. We have about 25 minutes that you can talk to me or I can talk to you. If you want to talk to me, call me on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number is 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990, or WhatsApp number 925-3261 as well. Okay, so I actually missed this WhatsApp message that that had been sent out, and but I'll the person wanted to know what percentage of students do not use the meals program. Well, we heard that 70% of them actually use it, so that would mean then 30% do not use it as well. And they go on, the other question, do students choose their meals from the meal in advance each week? Yes. The answer to that is yes. They can go and do their meal plans, decide which meals that they want. That's important because it means then that the vendors know, what to, how the amounts that need to be prepared as well, and and if you want to know more about the program, they did share the email information with you, but here we are. Here we go. So if you want to email suggestions or even questions, schoolmeals@gov.ky is one of the email addresses, schoolmeals@gov.ky. And for the HSA, it is school menus, plural, school menus @hsa.ky as well. Like I said earlier, a very progressive program. The government has decided to put their money where their mouths are in relation to the talk about our children and our future, being our future, it has to go beyond just talk. We have to put it in action. We have to put it in legislation. And when we put it in legislation, then we have to ensure that it is enforced as well. So let's talk about project management in the Cayman Islands. You heard Mr. Marshall talk about the fact that in his classroom, he has students from government entities, as well. I would imagine that probably employees at Public Works would be probably, one of those, as well as maybe even some of the ministries that may have oversight of certain things as well. Now, I'm not taking any stories out of school, but I am currently a member of the Business Staffing Plan Board. That Business Staffing Plan Board, if you are a company who, in the Cayman Islands, who has 15 or more employees on work permits, then you must apply for a business staffing plan, have that plan approved, and then your work permits are processed through that plan. If you have less, it is optional for you. You can choose whether or not you want to or not. Based on what I see, I'm going to put it this way. Based on the construction industry in the Cayman Islands and the demands, there are many work permits that are issued to persons in project management, construction management, and all of the others. Arguments for those work permits are we don't have any Caymanians who are available, no Caymanians applied, for those jobs. Well, we now know that the University College of the Cayman Islands has a program in place for project management and construction management. So if that is the case, right, then what we need to link together is what is being done at UCCI when persons graduate, and how do we get them into the system. Again, it ties in with what we keep hearing, people advocating for, that certain jobs should be reserved for Caymanians, and we all agree with that, but we also have to ensure that there are Caymanians there to fill those positions as well. So maybe project management, construction management could be one of those fields, one of those areas that we will eventually, get to, as well. So again, lots of work permits issued, project management, quantity surveyors, construction management, and folks, they pay good, they pay well, they pay very, very good as well. I'm told that we have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
You looking at job or what?
I almost lost the little one I had today because I came in late, completely forgot that I had to do the show today because, I was doing the buzz for 2 weeks. So, I was listening to Kathy this morning. Actually, I called in, as well. And I was in the back porch, stretched out in my hammock, listening to Radio Cayman too, and luckily I got this call from Susan. OC, where are you at? You're not doing the show today or what? I said, oh my gosh, I'm thinking that I'm free today because I didn't have the buzz this morning, so I almost lost the little job that I had. I would probably have to go to UCCI to start studying to get another job.
What a mess. Well, you got to get your notebook and keep that nearby so you know when you're on and when you're not on.
Oh, I guess I was so relieved to just get a break. That's probably why.
Yeah, and you need to bring Sterling back too, so I don't want to written on.
Yep.
Yeah, got to bring him back.
Yep, I agree.
Yes, I just touched a little piece of you in regards to the people there about the food for this.
The school lunch, the meals, yeah.
Yeah, what program that is? What name that is?
It is called. It is the. Okay. Find the okay. The new school meals program.
That's what's name.
And this is they provide 2 meals per day plus a snack, free meals to all of the students.
So are they in the government schools yet?
That is where it is. It's in the government schools, or if you are involved in any other government programs, like any other government educational programs as well.
Yeah, I'm going to make you laugh. One day I said to my granddaughter, what you had for lunch today? Granny, piece of cheese and bread.
How long ago that was?
Well, it was a couple of months ago. And she said, Granny, I don't have nothing to eat. It's a piece of bread. They said it was a cheese sandwich. Granny, that's a piece of cheese and bread. Oh my God! And then she said, next time she said, "There's some hot dogs for breakfast for lunch, Granny." I don't like hot dogs like that, Granny. So one day I asked the boy. I said, "What you had for lunch?" I had pizza, but the slice was so small.
Mm-hmm.
I know they appreciate it, but this school lunches need to be a bit upgraded because they're not eating healthy. And like she mentioned about the glucose, these children need to get in their bodies to keep them energetic and keep them going and all that kind of stuff. It's well needed in all schools, even some offices and staff-wise.
So true.
Yeah. I was just coming down, and there was 2 gentlemen, one on those little full bikes and then a regular bicycle. They were coming in the opposite direction, where the bar cap is building this, from bar cap, they're building this building now, right? So these 2 guys coming the opposite to town, but not in the other side of the road. There was an opposite lane they was going east, but yet they were coming down. So, I see these 2 guys from a distance, and I keep watching them, and then I say, well, they're good. Now, when I get to Prospect exit, they come up on the main road. They got one little opening there. It doesn't say pedestrian. It doesn't say anything. See, when I got up to that, those 2 guys is practically up on my front end of my car. See, all I could do was stop and open my door and ask them what the hell they think they're doing.
Wow.
Unbelievable. No, let me see you, man. Let me see you. I wasn't going to move. I said, but that's not how you do it. So I said, no, something. Just cross.
Mm-hmm.
Just cross.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to take our last commercial break. We do have a caller on hold. When we return, we will take that caller. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
The 24th Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Joy, is here. Presented by the New Self-Help Foundation, Sunday, June 29th at the Hawkwheel Theatre. Awesome performances by actress Caitlin Tyson, Erica Asai, Rico Rolando, Jade Dixon, Williams Quartet, Dequan Smith, UCCI Dance Company, Cayman Music School, Radiance Dance Studio, Centerpoint Dance Studio, John Gray Elite Strings, Lloyd Barker, Olajimi Lapierre, and more. Tickets cost $15 CI prepaid and $20 at the gate, and available from the #1 shoe shop and Winner's Circle Sports. Talent Exposition of the Arts, Joy, hosted by Anika Connolly and Lloyd Barker, June 29th at the Hawkwheel Theatre. Gates open at 5 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Part proceeds from this event to benefit the Foundation Educational Development Training Program of the Arts.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. We're going straight to the phone lines for the caller who has been on hold. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Orrett Connor.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Okay, and you?
I'm good. I'm good, thanks.
Okay. I heard you speaking about construction.
Uh-huh.
And workers and UCCI.
Uh-huh.
Do you believe that UCCI alone, with the Public Works Department and Michael Miles, can provide 60% of the workforce building these buildings and doing this construction on the island that has been recommended and put in law when it comes to concessions?
No, as a matter of fact, the gentleman who was in charge of the TVET program, Mr. Ricardo Benjamin, spoke, to the fact that it is not possible. When I asked the question about trade schools, and he did acknowledge the fact that, while they do have a TVET program and stuff, that simply isn't enough.
Well, this is Michael Miles' opportunity now.
Mm-hmm.
We need a trade school in Bordentown, and we need a trade school in Georgetown for the eastern districts, for the western districts, for Savannah and Prospect in the Georgetown area.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to rehabilitation, we have one center, Caribbean Haven. And right now, in Caribbean Haven, in the program, for example, if you have two brothers who need help, they're both not allowed in the program at the same time.
Mm.
If you have two sisters who need help, they're not allowed in the program at the same time, which means one of them could be in serious problems when it comes to their life.
And why is that they're not allowed? Is it because of the capacity or some sort of possible conflict? Why aren't two family members allowed like that?
Well, I don't know the exact reason, but I know one thing. If that's the problem, government needs to build another one, a rehabilitation center, either in West Bay or in Georgetown. Also, both of them places need another one.
Okay. Question for you. If you were starting a business or a program, would you normally do a survey first to find out what the uptake is going to be. If you're going to open, let's say, a restaurant in a particular neighborhood, you would want to know what the demographics are, how many people are likely to come before you open that restaurant, wouldn't you?
Yes, but I have one thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
I have been to rehabilitation center in Caribbean Haven.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the amount of people that have been turned down
mm-hmm.
that needed help because there was no room available. I have seen the amount of people that have been turned down because a family member was in the program already. So I'm not asking if we need another one. I don't need to do a survey to find out if we need another one.
No, my question was in relation to you talking about having a trade school in every district, and my view on that is that's a little bit of an overkill.
Well, I said we could have had a trade school in every district if we were collecting the concessions that we were supposed to.
And my question is, do we need one in every district?
No, we don't need one in every district, but we need one in Bordentown and one in Georgetown.
Okay, got you.
Why is it that Jamaica has so much concern and care about their people so much? In Cayman Islands is the 5th largest financial center in the world. But what is Cayman's excuse? And like I said, we have Michael Miles in there now. If he doesn't do anything about it, it'll never get done.
Mm. Yeah, he's quite passionate about it, and not only passionate, he's worked in that area as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm sure that he's going to make you proud.
I hope.
Okay, I want to thank that caller as well. We still have about 5 minutes left to go in the show. So the back to the school meals situation, and so the structure, for our first caller, the programs, the core goals of the program are to provide 2 free meals, a snack, and 2 beverages daily to all public school students. All public school students. So even if you have the ability to pay, there's no means testing that will be done now. All public schools will provide free meals to their students. And if you're in one of the government programs and you're at another school that doesn't, let's say a private school where free meals are not provided, that benefit is extended to you there as well. And the important thing about that is that none of your friends, none of your buddies in your group knows that you are getting a free, that government is paying for your meal. So it is a seamless process, for you. So you're not in any way, you're not singled out, or there's another terminology that's used for it. I'll find it. I'll find it soon. But no one knows that you're receiving that help as well. And also, the government is wanting to ensure that they're compliant with the national nutritional standards that we have set as well. That is why the Health Services Authority is engaged in this as well. They're also intended to maintain cost efficiency while improving nutrition, sustainability, and student satisfaction. as well. We're going to try to grab one last caller before we go. A fair caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon, OC. Dominic Ebanks here.
Hey, Dominic, good afternoon. How are you?
Any better, I couldn't stand it as always, you know. Just want to quickly comment on the lunches provided to our children in school. Regardless of people's, financial situation, all those students going to being treated fairly and equally, that everybody is entitled to that 1 or 2 meals per day. OC, you and I went to school and we had a pack of peanut butter sandwich or something where we could throw in the bag.
Actually, I went home for lunch. From when I was at Georgetown Primary, I'd walk home and our house right there where McDonald's office is now. Walk home for lunch, eat lunch, and then walk back to school, and still have enough time to play football on the football field too.
Yes, exactly. Made a good of our time. Ate quick and played fast.
Yep.
And hopefully we learn just as fast. So, but also, like I said, you have to comment on it positively. It is something that when you look at the amount of benefits, if you think about getting your children ready for school in the morning, just providing, getting breakfast and stuff ready, that alone in itself is a big job. And to be able to just drop your kids off to school and have all that taken care of, whether they like what's on the menu or not. And again, the menu is provided in advance, so you're able to select what they may not like, and then you can make other arrangements if need be. So it is something that is so beneficial, and not only to the fact that if many people who have children going to school really think about that question, they would realize that the amount of savings alone financially that they're benefiting from right now for that. That in itself is another part.
Yeah. Eases the pocket. Yeah. But
and I think most about is the teachers who now have students that have their bellies filled and can pay attention. Don't have to be up there sitting down procrastinating. Your belly's louder than your mind. Those are a lot of benefits. So you and I could go on all afternoon about it, but it is a great program. I hope that the private sector somehow would get this, especially the bigger corporations, hotels, and other people we have that are constantly. I just came from a meeting not too long ago, pretty much recording record profits and numbers that you and I really so, and to let a little bit of that trickle down to some area at least, would be greatly appreciated. So, for, other corporations to step in to make sure that other programs like the gentleman that just called before talking about trade schools, to go off a little bit on that. That's where the partnership really comes in. May not have a trade school in each district, but you have, these, certifications and so forth that take place in those districts, and it moves around.
Yeah.
And then that you can schedule if you want to be a plumber or a carpenter and you want to extend. And I think not only the UCCI and the ICCI colleges, but those places should also partner with those things to be able to send, instead of educate people having to come to them to be educated, let the education arms go out now and start educating out into the field as they would have done a long time ago as well. People used to go on foot and teach to the masses. A lot of things need to change a little bit, but that could benefit. Now we would have to build some structure and housing and paying rent and all that kind of stuff, We have a town hall, we have places that these things can be held if people are interested, so that's the main thing. I'm quite sure if the request goes out, say we're holding a training session right now together and you start training about being a plumber, electrician, or whatever Hayden is, I don't know how many people sign up for it and know whether to continue or even to cancel it or to go ahead.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I hope that we can all see more of, and I just want to give my positive support to it.
Sure. But before you go, I just want to say this, that, sorry, I'm sure that the minister is aware of some of these programs. I mentioned earlier that I'm on a business staffing plan. And some of those plans, companies are required to provide apprenticeships on an annual basis, sometimes for 2 apprentices, sometimes for 1. That is something that in the past has not been properly monitored. And that is one of the things that I am hoping and I'm trusting that the minister, will look into, that we can put more teeth into the business staffing plan, and where these apprentices can be monitored. And if the companies are not in a position to provide the apprenticeship, then it should be provided to institutions that are allowed to do that. But the important thing is for that to be monitored, because many companies have been getting away with it, and we're looking to ensure that we plug that loophole as well.
Of course, get away with nothing. And I just want to say to places like the HSA and all those places which hire a lot of interns, because I think they just had a program called requesting, and and people to sign up and get yourself involved. So they're different, especially from the government side.
Mm-hmm.
The private sector, I think, has been lacking quite a lot. But government definitely needs to be bold about it to show that their initiatives are in it, so that the private sector can be encouraged. I mean, we see changes now with immigration about the term limit and all that kind of stuff. We need to keep on going in that direction, that everything benefits Caymanians first for right now, at least for the next 4 years. So that just needs to happen, and I hope that we see a lot more of it being done, not again from the government, but from the private sector.
All right.
Thank you, OC, for the time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much as well, folks. I want to thank all of you who participated. I want to thank all of our guests that we had in the studio as well. I will urge you to please be careful out there, stay safe, and as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these 3 beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Talk Today is also brought to you by Mike's Builders. Call 923-0706. Mike Builders. They make it happen.
Shaken yet standing firm. This is